Hi, Mrs. Johnson. I understand you have some concerns about your child's teacher, and I'd like to listen to see what you have to say and how we can work together to help Troy succeed in school.
Well, I'm extremely upset right now because I walk in here to have a meeting with you about the advocacy group and I see my son sitting in the office. Why is he in the office?
I believe he was sent in here with a referral for a behavior concern. We would, I reached out to the teacher to try to find out what happened. We can talk about any, any, any of those concerns if you'd like.
So you don't really know why he was sent to the office?
I will reach out to the teacher right now since he had just come in here right now. So I would reach out to the teacher after our conversation so that we can know what is the concern, what is happening. So you just walked in right now. So we were in the middle of figuring it out.
Yeah, well, my concern is that this teacher is, like, my son does come home pretty much day after day. Just so I wanted to, I almost said complaining, but my son really doesn't complain, but he comes home and he's disappointed in his time spent in Mr. White's classroom because he feels like Mr. White is picking on him. He does the least little thing. That's why I said, why is he down here? Because my son will say, he dropped his pencil, and then Mr. White yells at him for dropping a pencil when somebody across the room would do the same thing and not get yelled at. My son will ask to go to the bathroom, and Mr. White will say, nope, can't go. Like, what? You can't go to the bathroom? Why not? And then my son will say, well, he'll say stuff like, I should have gone before I came to class, or, kind of rude things that makes my son feel isolated, really makes my son feel discriminated against. And I, I think I'm to the point where he's come home day after day about these concerns and things that are going on, that I want him out of that classroom. I think that he would thrive much better socially and academically in a different math class with a different teacher.
Okay, so I understand your frustration and I hear that you're concerned about your child's needs, that they're not being fully met in Mr. White's classroom. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
He's he's being discriminated against.
Okay. So I will have a discussion and a conversation with Mr. White, and we will try to figure out what is happening so that we can find a solution to the problem. And then we can, if I see that there's any needs or any concerns that I have, we would provide that kind of training or any kind of of mentoring for Mr. White in case that's the situation of what is happening in there. But we would
Well, so
definitely try to find out what is the cost for the referrals or what is the cost for the reasons for him to be sent into the office and not be in the way that Troy feels in the classrooms.
I'm not sure, but I don't think has he been sent to the class, to your office before, or is this the first time?
This is the first time that I have his referral sent, that he came into the office when you walked in. This is the reason why I would like to find out more of the information to see what it is. And then we can, the three of us sit down and discuss and see what it is that I would love for you to be a part of the discussion and try to figure out what it is that is happening in the classroom.
Well, my concern is that this problem is just going to escalate. Even if we have a conversation, I just don't know if Troy's gonna, if the damage can be repaired. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. He just feels so despondent some days when he comes home from school. He used to like math. He doesn't anymore. He comes home and that's probably the last homework assignment that he'll do. And so that really saddens me about that. And I think it's spilled over with his peers because at lunch and at recess, he'll say that his peers are making fun of him. They kind of go after, feel maybe emboldened by what Mr. White does in the classroom, and then they kind of try to mock Troy and things like that. Just it's a form of bullying, I believe, at lunch and at recess time. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
totally, yeah.
yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm concerned. I think there needs to be an end to this, and that's why I'm suggesting putting him in a different classroom with a different teacher.
Mhm. Okay, I understand, and I can look into your suggestion. I can look into that and see what we can do about it. I would love to hear more from Mr. White and see what he can share to see if, like, if there's anything that we can do to be able to discuss any improvements or anything that, we don't want him to feel like, that that I don't want Troy to feel like the relationship has been destroyed or anything like that. We want to be able to mend anything if there's anything that that needs to be mended or anything like that between them. It could be a misunderstanding. It could very well be something that, so I would love to look into more what Mr. White has to say, and then we can see where we can come to that, and then we can work together as a team to try to figure out what the best option is. And if it comes to matter of him having needing to be in another classroom, we can work on that. We can work on those things. But I would love for us to hear Mr. White's um, input as well. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's okay. I just want to know that bottom line is that we can still keep this on the table about having him go to another math class and have a different teacher. Um, because also, and this is again from my advocacy group, we really feel that a disproportionately large number of minority students are being suspended. Um, Most of that data is coming from the high school, but there is a little bit of data that we've researched that's coming from the middle school as well. And I certainly, like, I feel like, okay, my son's here in the office today. If gets referred again, is this possibly going to lead to a suspension? I feel like it's loss of educational time. Um, and so, again, that's a concern of our advocacy group, that we feel like minority students are disproportionately being suspended. And
Mhm.
so my question is there something, or what can you do to work on that?
Yeah, as a principal myself, like especially Hispanics myself also, I understand that, and um, it's important for us to acknowledge our school's weaknesses as well. And I think that that as a weakness was something that we are working on by providing professional development to our staff so they could be more culturally diverse, knowledgeable in those areas. And also by mentorships or anything like that. We also love having parents come in and volunteer and be part of the school culture and the school environment. And these are things that we're working on, and we might not see a reflected change immediately, but it's something that I'm looking forward to actually working on and making sure that our school and our staff like reflects what our school has. So it's something that we're working on. Don't lose faith, don't lose hope in that. We're working on it. We're trying to hire more diverse teachers as well. And that's one of the main goals that I have. And I hear that around many school districts as well, that they're looking forward to finding more of those excellent diverse staff members, teachers that can support our students in our schools, in our classrooms, and that our students feel identified in the classroom. So it's like I told you, as a Hispanic myself, that is my goal, is to be able to increment that staff, and to the ones that we have, our powerful staff that we have, to provide them with that knowledge and provide them with those trainings and things that they might need to be able to suffice and to be able to help all the students, all of them in the classroom, be able to succeed. And that is my main goal in that. So I just hope and I just encourage you to work with me. Okay. And this is something that it might be baby steps, but we're gonna get there. And we're gonna get there and we're gonna try to find Troy and try to help him out as best as we can. If we cannot provide a solution for him in this classroom, we are willing to move him to another classroom because what we are more concerned about is for his well-being and for him to be able to succeed in school. That's my primary goal, is for him to feel safe and for you to feel comfortable where you're sending your child. Um, so just know that I'm here to support you. I'm here to listen to you. If you have any other concerns, or if you have anything that you would like to bring upon, that's I have any suggestions, I take them. Take them.
Well, that kind of segued into another concern of the advocacy group is we really feel that there's a need to increase the multicultural population in not only in your staff, but in your administration too. And as well as bringing more staff development in just on general multicultural education. And we as an advocacy group are very more than happy to come in and help with that or be a part of that, be a participant in some kind of staff development if there is a need for that.
That is encouraged. Yeah.
Yes, and the other thing is though too, we feel that again, minority students are being left out of the gifted programs and the honors classes. Again, I don't know what your procedures are or if there's anything you can do about that. But again, looking at the data and the research, there aren't a lot of minority students in your gifted and honors programs.
Yeah, that is something that we can work on, and it's kind of it goes back into the curriculum. So the curriculum, we're working on modifying it into what we have in our school, into that diversity. What is it that we're teaching in our social studies class? What is it that the students are correlating to their lives of, everything that we're trying to work in with the curriculum has to entail what the experiences are and where the kids are coming from. So something that's more relevant to their history, to their life, so they're able to succeed and be able to grow in those areas as well. And not just us teaching them like, specific things of specific cultures or specific, but everything in general, so that they can identify and find their identity and be able to succeed in all these manners as well. Just as we do with math, there are different types of learners that learn in different manners and things like that. Our teachers need to be equipped to be able to teach them in all these diverse ways, right? So that's the same thing with the culture. We want to be able to teachers to be culturally diverse and knowledgeable of like where our students come from and what are their needs and how they learn, so that when they do get assessed and they do get promoted to these gifted and honors programs, that we know that truly is where they should be or how they should be moved on. So I'm very hopeful that these changes, those are the weaknesses of our school, and I'm very hopeful as a new principal that these are the things that are going to come about and we can make that change happen. And I am thankful for people like you that have the courage to come up to the forefront and say, hey, these are the things that we see and these are the things that we want to advocate for change. So I am grateful for that because I know that I don't see everything, and I know that I don't know everything. So I need the parent support, I need teacher support, I need the community support, and I need to know what the kids want, what the students want, and what they need. And I'm going to try to get that information right out of there from everyone, and using surveys or anything or conversations pieces or anything that I can possibly get to be able to build that culture where there's growth for all of us, all of us.
Right, right. Yes, I totally agree, and I appreciate your concerns and your willingness to work with us. Because, the district generally overall has a good reputation, but my husband and I both see it declining. So much so that our neighbors are thinking of moving because they're feeling, again, sad that it may be, that that their children are being discriminated against too. So, rather than seeing a decline keep going, we need, like you said, to work together to kind of get to the root of the problem and pick things up and move forward.
Build.
Um, so yeah, I'm really hopeful that that will happen, and also concerned about Troy and, going back into that classroom. And yes, I know, if we can meet about with, I guess you said with Mr. White and Troy and with my husband and myself, like if we can meet together, um, I'm willing to do that, but I also want to keep on the table that if things don't go well, there is that option of him having a different teacher.
Yes, yes, the option is at the table. So we can meet, we can do a follow-up. I will send you a follow-up information. We'll talk to Mr. White and see what are the concerns that he has, just so that we could be able to pinpoint where things are happening and where, what to avoid. Because we move him to a new classroom, we want him to succeed there as well. So we want to know where this is coming from, if this is something, that, we can nitpick, or if it's something that we would need external supports for, or anything like that. We want to be able to see the whole map and be able to pull in all the resources and all the things that we can to be able to support him so that he can succeed. And that way we can all succeed as a team as we learn and move forward.
Exactly. Because, like I said, my son is, I'm kind of a mama bear because I want the best for him and I see so much good in him. I mean, he is a scholar and an athlete, and I just want that to continue in his education. So I appreciate your time, and I will get back to the advocacy group with just kind of like a summary of our conversation today, and then hopefully the advocacy group can meet with you in the very near future.
That sounds great. And I will send out a follow-up, either it could be by mail or email, so that we're all on the same page and we can all work together towards helping Troy succeed.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.